Hello and welcome to the High Altitude Investing Bitcoin Predictions live stream. I'm going to be going over some Bitcoin charts at the start here, and then we're going to be going over some requested charts by you guys once we get started here and get some viewers. And then we will go ahead and answer questions at the end. So this is the HAI stream. This is the October 3rd, 2017. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin first. But yeah, we'll like to welcome everybody that can make it tonight. And for anybody that didn't actually get to tune into the stream, we'll be able to watch this later on YouTube. So welcome everybody. It's good to see some people tuning in. Alright, we'll switch to my screen here so that we can see more stuff going on, and then I'll get the dashboard. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Let's see, the flip glasses, I have them in my bag right now, so maybe next time. Nulled that consolidation at 4,000. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm just looking at Bitcoin here, and I actually did a poll on Twitter, so I'll drop the poll because we still have some time left. We have 65 voters so far, so let's see if we can bring that up. I'll drop the poll in the chat here. Just go vote. Basically, I'm looking at Bitcoin here, and there's two separate wave counts that I keep seeing around on TradingView. Some people think that we'll have this purple outcome, and I do too actually, where Bitcoin pumps up out very quickly here and heads towards around $10,000, and then others think that we'll have a full retracement back to the trend line of at around $2,500 before it moves on the upside. But personally, I'm going for the purple outcome. But I just wanted to poll on Twitter and see what people thought. Majority of people actually are saying red outcome right now, interestingly enough. So they think that it will take like around November before the markets pick up again, but I personally disagree just because of the parabolic nature of cryptocurrency. It generally recovers very quickly. So yeah, I'm getting back in on Bitcoin at the bottom of this retracement because I do see a short-term sell-off to around the 4,000 zone. I'm posting the exact buy orders and stuff in the VIP area as well. I also just got back from LA, so there's a few emails that I haven't gotten back to. Some people were asking me to help them with some stuff, so I'll get back to you within the coming days now that I'm back from LA. So just thought I'd let you guys know if there's anybody viewing that needed some of that support, some assistance. Alright, my phone is freaking out on me. Oh, okay, it's retweets. So yeah, this is pretty much my prediction on Bitcoin. I'm going to take away this red outcome for a moment just because I actually don't see that as what's happening. I personally am going with this purple right here, where we have a quick inverse head and shoulders, land back onto the Ichimoku cloud on the daily, and head for this huge three-leg, a retrace to the 4 and the 5. So we'll see kind of how it plays out, but I'm very bullish on Bitcoin in this area. As you guys know, I made the video that I suspect it'll head towards 10,000 based on the Fibonacci. So yeah, I think that we will wait for a couple more people to get tuned in here, and then we'll start taking requests for coins that you want me to go over. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about global market cap, kind of my longer term thoughts on everything, because Bitcoin, after it hits this zone, it'll be time to sell. I'm going to be like telling a lot of people to take a lot of their profits out, you know, long-term profits, because this will be an area where you'll have like a 50% retracement all the way back down. So but yeah, this is just how markets move. They expand and then retrace, expand and then retrace. They always move like this. They have pumps, pullbacks, pumps, pullbacks, pumps, and then they have these bigger retracements that come out of it, where they fall backwards on the downside and come all the way back down sometimes. That's just how they move. It's just like the emotional cycle. So pretty amazing to see that play out. Internet of People, Pivx, BitShares, we're getting a whole bunch of requests already. Why is Ethereum being so weak? So personally, Ethereum, in my opinion, is just following Bitcoin. So I think it will take off on that 3 leg up with Bitcoin, but it will have a short-term sell-off again. Let's see. BitShares, Internet of People. Yeah, I'm going to go with Internet of People first, because that's a highly requested one. I know that my buddy Vijalarazzi in the Discord actually posted a trading view chart on this one because he sees it as having pretty good potential here. So let's see, hourly. So I'm just going down to the smaller time frames to see like this most recent movement. So this is kind of a big, like, I would be careful as you get up this high, because this could retrace pretty easily here. This could be like a rising, a squeezing, like a rising type wedge here. But it kind of looks like an ascending triangle in my eyes though. So if you go look on Google and you type in ascending triangle, you can find all these stock patterns, and Google Images is a pretty good source of that type of information if you're trying to like find patterns. Welcome everybody. Looks like we got 67 viewers online. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. So yeah, it looks like it's an ascending triangle, but we do want to see a breakout in resistance. I personally wouldn't buy right now on Internet of People because you can't get a good risk to reward ratio. If you're buying right now, it could fall back to the trend line, which is about around 20% of a dip. So if you do want to get in on Internet of People, I would try to shoot to buy near the trend line at around 100,000 satoshis, 10,000 satoshis. Let's see, 10,000. No, yeah, 100,000 satoshis would be the area that you would shoot to buy on this one. But it is pretty high in this wedge as well, so it's a little bit more of a risky trade for me. I wouldn't trade this until we have a break and then another pullback, personally. But if you're already in on it and you have a good stop loss up here near the top, so you get stopped out on profit, then it could be a good setup if you're already in from a good entry point on Internet of People. Okay, so BitShares is one that we had some bearish fundamentals come up, which is saying that they're going to delist it. So if you look at the price of BitShares, we had quite the retracement today, actually, like a pretty big retracement in prices. This is one that I still see a bounce coming in it, but it is retracing a lot harder than was planned or suspected here because of some bearish fundamentals. Could I do a little BAT TA? Yeah, I could look into BAT. So let me load this here. My screen. Come on. Alright. So we did have another big bearish candlestick come in on BitShares here, and another huge volume spike as well. So at this point, I wouldn't just dump my bags because we're oversold on both RSIs and the volume coming in is very, very strong. So I would consider this to be in the despair phase of a market cycle. Let's see, market cycle. So here's a good example of a market cycle. You have this takeoff period where prices just kind of consolidate upwards and then it falls down. And then you have this pump upwards and then a bull trap up at the top, and then it goes all the way back down below to where it was taking off. So this is kind of what you would suspect here in BitShares, is that we had this slow takeoff period right here, and then it started to really come upwards here, started to pump, then you had your first sell-off, just like this market cycle, started to take off, first sell-off, bear trap, so this is where the bears got trapped, and then you have this huge pump upwards, and then the market falls all the way back down, all the way back down, and then falls below the initial takeoff period into the despair phase where everybody thinks it's dead and nobody wants it. Are we lagging? Let me see what I can do here. Let's see. Let me see if I can fix this lag real quick. I apologize, you guys. Let's see. Okay. Huge lag. Shoot. Let me see here how I can fix this. Settings. Audio broadcast settings. Alright, so I switched my bitrate settings, and let's see if I can actually stream here and have a healthy stream. Attention, enthusiasm, greed, disillusion, new paradigm, denial, bull trap, return to normal, fear, you know, the whole shebang, the whole market cycle. So what we're looking at here in BitShares is we have the takeoff period right here, and then you have your first buy up, your first sell off. So that would be takeoff, first buy up, first sell off. That's where the bear trap is. This is where the coin got super hyped. I posted an entry for it in my Discord during this period of time. And then it hit a top. It came back down. It bounced back up. And that would be the return to normal phase where people think it's just going to keep going up. And then it continued to fall all the way back down, and then fell to its support line, and then fell even below the support line. So now it's in the despair phase of the market cycle. This is when people will dump and think it's dead. This is what happened to Ripple recently too. It's at the lowest possible point in the market cycle. So there's no reason to dump your BitShares right now, because I do suspect this to bounce out of this fine, at least up into this zone, even if it doesn't go all the way up past previous highs. It would at least bounce up into the 5200 area where you could sell off some of your position. So I'm bullish on BitShares overall though, I'm just saying, because this looks like a similar chart pattern that when Ripple went into the despair phase and nobody wanted it, had all of this volume came in, and then it was actually a good place to buy. So yeah, definitely not scared of BitShares. I think that it's possible that the bearish fundamentals were also on purpose to pick up some more cheap coins, because it already entered the despair phase a little bit back here, and then now it even went into it a little bit further. But there's enough volume here that this is a good risk to reward for an entry. It's not likely it goes much lower, and it's highly likely it bounces soon. So that's kind of why I've been looking at BitShares, and it's one that I wanted to point out. But yeah, now let's go and look at some other coins. So you guys want to drop some for me to request, or request some for me to do TA on here, and I will get to it. Let's see. What coin? Better now. 0x metal iota. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, we'll go over most of these at least. Any one that we can. Yeah, I can go over Dash. That one looks like it's heavily requested right now. Dash, Poloniex, dollar. So I like the dollar chart the best. So Dash, in my eyes, has been in a good spot for selling now for a minute. So I just think it's nearing the top of its cycle, just by the way that the pattern seems to be playing out here. It looks like we have already reached the top of a wave cycle, and that we could see a bigger retracement out of this. So this could be a big bull trap right here in Dash. So I haven't been buying Dash up because it's so high, and I haven't seen the initiation of a new market cycle or the completion of the one that had already started. So I'm just kind of holding off on it right now because I do think that it has a chance of retracing further from where it's at. So we'll just kind of have to see how it plays out, but it does look like it's gonna retrace more. So I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't buy it right now. It's too parabolic at this point. Alright, now we can go over KMD is a good one actually. Again, the dollar is always the best one to look at in my eyes. So this one is following a nice trend. It's actually one that I've been watching pretty closely. This is basically a very, very standard market cycle that you would see. You see this first little pump here where you have like your first wave set play out, and then it comes back down to the bottom. You have a full retrace right here to the trend line, and then you have this other little wave set play out where the market pumps, lands on the trend line, pumps, lands on the trend line, then it pumps, and then you have what is A and then a B. Now I think this one will fall below the trend line momentarily, and then it'll make a wick down right here. It'll make a wick down at this low because it's overbought on the RSI, and this is an ascending wedge right here. So this is a bearish signal right here. So I do think that this is going to finish its C leg and fall back below the trend line momentarily and make a wick. And then it should bounce, and the body of the candle should stay within this trend line, and it should continue this bigger market cycle, because in the bigger time frames it's only done a 1 and then a 2 and then a 3, and so it would make sense that we'd have a full market cycle play out here, that it would have another leg on the upside. So I do see a short-term bear move where you could buy the dip below $1 at like 80 cents here on KMD, but it is in a bearish signal right now. It's going to fall. This is a wedge formation. It's the same thing that Bitcoin's doing right now, why Bitcoin will fall back. Now it might not fall below the trend line, but that's just kind of what I would suspect it to do, because it needs to finish that final correction leg. I've seen a lot of coins like this that are trending up. They just starting their new market cycles, and they always seem to make these little rising wedges and fall below and make a wick below the trend line, but open the body above it so it continues on its trend upwards. Alright, yeah, let's look at IOTA now. I think that you can look at the IOTA chart here. Yeah, perfect. Alright, so let me clear my drawing. Move all drawing tools. There we go. So IOTA is one that I am personally like extremely bullish on overall. I own some IOTA as well. You can purchase it on Bitfinex if you would like to get some. So this, in my eyes, is just like the very first little wave here. So we should see a nice market cycle play out to around, I mean, you know, we'll see how this actually plays out right here, but according to Fibonacci, we could see it hit around $3 on this last leg. So if we go from the low to the top, yeah, so it'd be like $3.50, somewhere around there. We could see it hit as a more long-term target here for IOTA. But we have to see this next wave set, this 3-leg, come up here to like $2. That would be kind of my suspected zone for us. So I'm bullish on IOTA. It's one that I've been watching for a while too. So let's see. Metal. Do you cover Litecoin? Yeah, I can cover Litecoin for you. Oops. Probably want to get the full chart if I can. Poloniex, this is where you can get the most like data. So remove all drawing tools. Alright, so Litecoin. What has Litecoin been up to these days? Well, it's been kind of like making a nice market cycle here, but it's also nearing the top of a market cycle. We had a small retracement here, but we haven't had the full ABC yet. So I actually think Litecoin will retrace harder than Bitcoin will. I think Bitcoin will actually correct very quickly here, land around $4,000 and then go back on the upside. But Litecoin hasn't finished its full ABC, and so I do suspect it to continue on the downside here. It's also overbought on the RSI pretty heavily, so I think is one that I would like stay out of for the most part right now. And if you bought the top, it might be smart to take your loss. I mean, it depends on like where exactly you bought. You might, you know, and how long you want to hold it, because after this it might go back on the upside, but that's a long time to be holding something and just trusting it. So alright, ADX. Yeah, I can do ADX. And for all the Ethereum lovers, I got you in a minute. Yeah, so ADX is one I posted an entry for as well in my Discord channel. Let's see. The main reason that I posted this one as an entry, come on. There we go. So the reason I posted this one as an entry is because it was in a falling wedge. And so we posted to buy in this area, and sure enough it popped out of this wedge. And I think we've seen about, yeah, we saw about 50 to 100% gains from the area that we were entering. So that was a nice little trade for us, and I do think that this will continue bullish, although we got stopped out here on this trade, so I'm not going to try to re-enter it. It is also overbought, so it could correct a little bit harder from here on the downside. But yeah, definitely one that was fun to play here, but I wouldn't be buying in this area by any means. And if you entered anywhere down here, I'd be taking your profits out. And if you want to play this again, look to enter lower. So yeah, now let's go to Ethereum, because everybody likes a good Ethereum TA. Ethereum dollar. Alright, so I mean my TA is already done here basically. I think that it will fall back to I'll just remove all this drawing. Yeah, basically it's in a cup and handle right now. I think it'll fall back to the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud one more time, probably at around $250, and then I would suspect it to move back on the upside like this and kind of break out right here with a lot of volume up towards $600. It just looks like a nice ascending triangle cup and handle formation, and everybody knows that Ethereum is a huge coin, and it continues to get hyped, and there's continual buying volume. So I don't see this as like a big correction for Ethereum coming. I see this as like a good spot to like buy a little with a tight stop loss at $250. So yeah, Ethereum still looks good. Neo, yeah, I can do Neo. Also one that we played in the VIP area recently and made some nice gains. We bought like right here at night, or let's see. Yeah, we bought down here and then we sold up here at like $26. We got stopped out when it came back down right here and sold at 26. I believe we made a 35% gain, but I would have to look exactly. So yeah, this one is actually looking a little bit bearish. We had a bearish engulfing candlestick, so I think we will fall back to the center of this rounded type formation here, probably to, you know, around $25 would be my like suspected area for this bearish move to come down to, in which case I will definitely be considering, depending on how the pattern comes out right here, I will definitely be considering buying the dip right here on this coin, but I do suspect a short-term retracement in this market down to the $25 range. So yeah, but overall bullish on Neo. It's definitely like my long-term target is still $100, so that's just like my short-term movement I was suspecting. Alright, Ethereum Classic. Yeah, I can go over ETC. No problem. ETC Tether. So yeah, I am bullish on ETC personally. We might have one more fallback in this market, maybe to like $10. The worst case scenario would be if it fell back down below the $10 mark at like $6. But overall, this is one big market cycle that I see having a lot more movement left in it. We are falling back onto a trend line right here, a pretty low trend line. So we just have to see how this one holds here. If it does break below $10, I would take losses. But as for now, we want to see kind of how it plays above this. We do have the Ichimoku cloud as resistance, but I do think that this one, if it does fall lower, will catch support somewhere down here and continue on a bigger cycle on the upside. My long-term target is still around $100, although we could see some pretty gnarly bearish movement here depending on how this wedge plays out, because it is in a rising wedge just like all the other markets. They're all pulling up this rising wedge formation like that. So EOS, I think I can do EOS. EOS dollar Bitfinex. All right. Oops. All right. So EOS has some descending resistance here. It does look like it recently broke out of a small rounded bottom formation in this area at around 50 cents. Although I will say that I would want it to break out of multiple descending resistance areas because it's got a couple of them. So I might buy this market if we do something more like this. If we break out of the low, come up, fall back onto the trend line, and then I would buy after the first ABC of a market cycle. So yeah, I wouldn't touch this market for a minute unless we do get like a clear breakout and descending resistance. Then you might be able to enter here at the 2 wave at like 71 cents and play it up to like the resistance area of a couple dollars. But I'm personally not going to buy this market until I see a clear one leg made, a first leg in the market, so I can buy the retracement. But yeah, personally not one that I would buy yet, although I know that it has good fundamentals, so given enough time, it might break out and play that cycle, and then it would be a good entry. All right. Crypto Chris, I prefer the USD charts because they're not distorted by the volatility of Bitcoin. So they're more accurate as to like what's actually happening in the price of that market. Because the dollar's way more stable than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a very volatile market. Byteball. Yep. Byteball dollar. Okay, so not my favorite chart. No, I wouldn't really. I mean, if you are bag holding this right now, you might just want to hold and see if it ever moves, but like that's not my favorite chart. No. I guess if you're bag holding it, this does look like it could be a potential falling wedge right here, where you have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bearish Elliott move with a bit of a falling wedge formation like this. So we could see this breakout right here. It's very possible, but it's not one that I would personally be buying right now. It's overbought on the stochastic RSI, and it's still this low, so it's a very bearish market in general. Gamecoin. All right. Game Bitcoin Bittrex. Oops, why'd I do Bitcoin? Oh, this one looks good. Okay, so yeah, this one did a full retracement too, a full Elliott retracement on the downside, and then broke out as out of this falling wedge. Oh yeah, so this one I definitely think that this one could see a lot of bullish movement because it has a nice history of price movement. We do see a nice bit of volume coming in right here. There's the Ichimoku cloud for resistance, but this is basically a little bull flag right here that it just broke out of. So we could see this push up into the Ichimoku cloud, and then possibly continue for another wave set up to the resistance of the 2 wave around 10K or 100,000 Satoshis. So that would be what I would suspect a short-term movement for this coin. It actually is a very nice looking chart right here with this, you know, continual growth in volume right here. That's a good sign as well. These falling wedges have been working as great entries, as we know, with the quantum entry that I posted. So definitely a good one to be keeping your eye on here. Game credits. 10x pay, yeah, we can do that. So I am still bullish on 10x, by the way. Let's see here. Alright, so we did have one cycle play out. As usual, I like to point these Elliots out because you can see them everywhere, especially in cryptocurrency. It's so obvious. Like, you just look at it and you're like, oh my gosh. Like, you know, perfect Elliots right here. And then you had a beginning of a new market cycle. This was indicated with a big influx in volume and also a breakout in the descending resistance from the bearish move that happened in the market cycle. This was also a falling wedge formation, so it broke out of the falling wedge, and now we see that the standard RSI isn't very oversold. The stochastic looks like it could turn around at some point right here. We had a mini market cycle play out right here, but it does look like an ABC occurred. So as long as we can hold support in the 5100 range, or let's see, no, yeah, the 50,000 Satoshi range. As long as we can hold support in this area, I would suspect that this market continues to play upward on this. So we'll see, but actually looks like a pretty good start to a new market cycle. It's one that I'm bullish on. So, DCR. Yeah, we can do DCR. And by the way, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. We have 110 viewers. I really appreciate it. I enjoy doing these streams and doing these requests for you guys, giving you my thoughts on stuff. Let's see. So DCR. Oops, I need to look at the dollar because that's where I posted the entry in my last stream. Dollar Bittrex. Alright, so DCR is one that I'm still very bullish on, you guys. We have this nice solid trend line that's been following. It's oversold on the RSI currently. It's already started to fall out of its rising wedge and land onto the support area. As I think I've counted the waves for you guys on this one. But if I haven't, let me go ahead and do that again. I believe the wave set goes something like this on this coin. It has a very parabolic first wave, and then a very steep and clear ABC correction, and then it starts a new market cycle, and we see 1 and a 2 and a, well, actually this wouldn't be like that. Take that away. This is just trending upon the support line, and we have, let's see, where do these waves start? Count the waves here. Alright, so this is going to be something like this. We might see this as being the wave set, something like this, right? Where it comes back up and out, and then makes like this big cup and handle out of the 3 and the 4, and then we see a pump and up and out. That's what I'm thinking in DCR, but my short-term target was $50, so we're still waiting for it to go up to that area, just because I was going to sell off my position at previous resistance because it always pulls back in that area. So that's how I got the wave count for DCR. That's why I said it was a good entry. And that's kind of how you can see the same count in the Elliots here. This wave, this 1 wave, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll see, you know, every single wave always has a bigger retracement. So we'll see this happen after, and it'll fall all the way back down to probably like $50. Or somewhere around there, and then continue. It could continue on the upside in a bigger set. So definitely one to look for, and one that I told people to buy recently, and I still think we'll hit $50 soon. So, you know, in coming months, it'll hit that area. So, good to hear, crypto. I'm glad that you're learning about TA, watching me. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Same with you, Slappy5. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go over VTC. It looks like it's being requested very heavily by somebody who wants it bad. So I'll give you my Vertcoin predictions. This one looks very good. Very good. Look how nice that trend line is. So this is like an ascending triangle formation, right? Like what I was showing in Google earlier at the start of the stream, where you have this pump up to the top, falls back to the trend line, comes all the way back up, falls to the trend line, and this one's going to break out above this trend line, head for around like $2.50 is where I would expect, or around $2 before it starts to see like some type of a rejection in any way. But, you know, you can count all the waves on this one too. It's just kind of how these things play out. They always do the same thing over and over. And if you know how to identify it, then it can be a very, it can be a lot easier to trade if you know how to do these wave counts, honestly. It's taught me a lot. So, as you can see, we have this is what I would suspect kind of playing out right now, is that that's the 1 and the 2. Then we'll have a big old 3, 4, and a 5 up out of that ascending triangle formation. So very bullish on VTC. Good, you know, it's a good one to have bought in along this trend line. It's not the best risk to reward right now because, you know, it could go back down a little bit and you might get stopped out. It's just not the best spot to buy right here. It's better to buy along the trend line because then you can have tight stop losses. But I do see this going up if you've already gotten into it. Fun. Yeah, let's look at fun. Yeah, I'm using 1-day candlesticks because it's really easy to see the market cycles in cryptocurrency. I hope if that answers your question. Crypto Kerbit. Let's see. Fun. Fun fair dollar. Perfect. What an interesting chart here. So, again, we can go back to the waves. I accidentally drew. Oh, come on. There we go. Crosshair. I'm just trying to pull this market into size. So this was a big bull flag right here. Or kind of, it was like a more like a falling wedge, but like a crazy one. It's kind of like a bull flag, but this is just when this breaks this descending resistance line, you know it starts a new cycle. So that means that this would be the 1, the 2, and then that's the new cycle begins. So we will see a push upwards in fun fair. It's also going to see a lot of pumping on the upside, in my opinion, and based on the wave count. So we'll kind of see how it plays out here, but I would suspect that this one breaks higher, up towards previous resistance. You know, it's at least going to hit 4 cents, 4.4 cents. So, all right. DGB. This one is so heavily requested. I get messages about this coin all the time. I don't know why. Let's see. Poloniex. Let's delete this. So, I mean, not really my style. No, I mean, you might see this come back on the upside here, but yeah, I wouldn't suspect this honestly to break out. This isn't one that I would personally buy. It's just been dumped so hard, and it's a very pump and dump styled coin. So if you are in on this, then at least put your stop loss below this trend line, because if it breaks below this trend line, then it will definitely go further on the downside. So, but yeah, no, this isn't one that I would actually be accumulating right now. It's already kind of made its moves. Like, you know, I traded it a little bit from here to here, but I haven't touched it since then because it didn't continue on a bullish market cycle right here. It didn't make like a 1 and then a 2 and then a 3. It didn't, you know, come up into the cloud or anything. So I haven't touched it since that trade there, and it does look like it will go further on the downside, but watch that trending support line. That's kind of your determining factor there with DGB. All right, XMR. Yeah, I can do XMR. Also one that I thought I was going to make a leg up to $200, honestly, but I'm not so convinced that we'll see that at this point. It kind of looks like it's done the majority of its move, which is like a very, very impulsive move. Its waves were insane. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's completely corrected yet. I thought that this was a bull flag here because I didn't count the waves correctly on this move, that impulsive move. So I thought we'd see a $200 Monero before it pulled back, but this ended up being descending resistance, so I got stopped out near the top here, and I haven't touched it since. It does look like it will do an ABC all the way back down to like $50. So yeah, definitely good to like get out of XMR. I don't see this as one that's just gonna continue going up right here. Can you buy altcoins on BTC exchange? Yeah, you can sell between Ethereum, Bitcoin, US dollar Tether, all on Bittrex, Matthew. It's a pretty good exchange. It's predominantly where I do my trading, so. Alright, we'll do Stratus and then we'll just go over a couple questions here. See if anybody has any specific questions. Strat dollar Poloniex. Alright, so Stratus. What a coin. What a coin. What a coin. Yeah, no, I think it needs to go further down. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this coin has more bearish movement. It just didn't go up and make like a big ascending triangle right here like I thought it was going to. If it would have made an ascending triangle formation right here and broke out towards the upside, then I would have suspected it to go higher. But now it looks like it's kind of completed its cycle and has to kind of fall below the trending support area and go into like the despair phase that we know about. See where it goes up, it hits a new paradigm, comes back down, and then fear, and then it goes all the way back down below the takeoff period. So where it took off right here, it's going to go all the way back down below that. And then maybe I'll buy somewhere down here at like $1 again. But it's got a long ways to go down from here. So alright, so let me check. I know, Joe, I think that I have a list of books here actually for you, for learning material for trading that I recommend. Let me pull them up here. I'm just looking at this post. I posted a list of books to read recently. So yeah. Yeah, these ones are all good. And then also researching, let's see, I don't know if I can post this in, oh yeah, I can't post this in, the chat has way too many characters. Joe, if you want to email me, I can send you this list of books to go over. But yeah, definitely anything about Elliott waves is usually good. Just learning those in general is a very good idea. Learning about Fibonacci, market cycles, basically stuff like that. Those are the main things. And then learning about like a couple indicators, don't go overboard on them. But yeah, the main thing, like I only use the RSI and the stochastic RSI, and then the Ichimoku for backup, support, and resistance. Other than that, I don't touch indicators. So yeah, I can post the book list in the Discord group. Actually, I will go post that right now in the announcements for you guys. All right. Control V. At everyone. Books to read. Okay. There you go. Now you guys have all those books in the Discord. If you're new to the Discord, I'll drop the invite link so that you guys can join in as well in the live dashboard. Here you guys go. So yeah, you can join my Discord group with that. Joe, just click on the link that I just dropped in the live chat, and you can join the group. And Crypto Kerbit that just messaged me on Twitter, go check in the Discord group as well. And yeah, basically I'm bullish on Bitcoin still. That's, you know, I went over that at the start. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm still bullish on the whole market cap. There's a few coins that I wouldn't touch because, you know, it's just like the cycles of markets. Some of them lose their hype, others have the hype, and if there isn't the hype and the buying power behind it, then it starts to get forgotten. So you have to, that's why you have to learn how to trade the waves. That's why it's good to research everything you can about trading if you're going to do this and actually put your money into it, because you have to know when something's going to go further down and when something's going to go further up, and have like a solid way to determine that in any situation. And it takes a lot of work to develop that, but if you have, you know, if you have the right mindset and you're willing to, it's one of the most useful skills you'll ever learn in your life. But yeah, definitely, yeah, Ethereum still gonna go to like $600. It's just taking a long time, Chris. And let's see, SNT. If SNT is on TradingView, we'll do SNT real quick and then call it a night. SNT, status network token. Yeah, it is. Let's go over this one. Would I buy this market? Probably not, no. I mean, yeah, no. I wouldn't buy this one mainly because it's still in resistance areas. So this is a generalized resistance area for this market. It's seen wicking and gets rejected in this point. It also recently just fell below its previous support area, so it could easily fall back down further below this area. But if we did see a breakout and you know, and then some steady trending upwards like this, and then if it fell back like that, then I might buy. But as of right now, I wouldn't touch this market. It's just not what I look for as a buy signal. And you know, it could just pump out from where it's at right now, you never know. But it's not what I look for in a buy signal. It's not where I can be like, okay, the odds are in my favor if I put my money on this. That's not what I see in this coin. Alright, so yeah, thank you guys all so much for tuning in to the live stream tonight. I really appreciate it. And I've gotten 14,000 subscribers now. That's craziness. I appreciate every single one of you and the support that you give me. It means the world to me. I couldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for you guys. And I truly am happy about the direction that everything's going. I think that we can make a lot of money as Bitcoin heads towards, you know, the $10,000 mark, and as we continue in the parabolic movement of this market. It's super fun to trade all of this movement. It's really exciting. If you're new to this, it can be a little discouraging. Learn stop losses, trading plans, Elliott waves. Just practice it and trust yourself, and with enough time you'll get the hang of it. I know that we have made a lot of profit along this pump, and then we'll have to exercise profit taking near the top. So I'm going to be telling everybody to sell, 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 sell as we get to the top of the overall market, because, you know, it's smart to take profits and you have to remember to do that. But yeah, I appreciate everything, and I will catch you guys in the next video and stream. As always, stay profitable.